Have you seen these Vox-Style animations everywhere? They can become a hand-painted anime story, a cinematic sports scene, or Black history rebuilt in layered paper. They weren't animated frame by frame. I made all three with Minimax H3 inside OpenArt. Today, I'll show you how to create a complete paper-style animation. If you're new here, I'm Nichole with Earn with Nichole, where I show you how to use AI tools, create content, and turn those skills into income. Vox-Style paper animation is showing up everywhere, and it can make even a simple story feel impossible to scroll past. In this tutorial, I'm showing you exactly how to create it. For this tutorial, I'm using Minimax H3 inside OpenArt. I'll show you how I create the layered paper images, turn them into animated scenes, and assemble everything into one polished Vox-Style video. Let me show you how I created this premium Vox-Style paper animation from beginning to end. I started with two separate ChatGPT windows because each window has a different purpose. In the first window, I pasted my master paper animation prompt. This is my prompt generator window. The master prompt gives ChatGPT all of the visual rules for the project. It explains that everything must look physically handcrafted from materials like thick cardstock, construction paper, craft paper, watercolor paper, and corrugated cardboard. It also tells ChatGPT to create visible paper thickness, individually cut layers, exposed edges, recessed sections, deep shadows, and realistic handcrafted textures. Every scene must have one clear hero object, no more than 2 or 3 supporting objects, a clean custom background, and plenty of negative space. After ChatGPT accepted those instructions, I entered the blockbuster story one sentence at a time. I recommend working one sentence at a time because it gives you better control over each individual scene. It also keeps the composition from becoming crowded or confused. For every sentence, this ChatGPT window gives me 2 matching prompts, one detailed image prompt and one 10-second video prompt. The image prompt creates the starting artwork, while the video prompt explains how that artwork should move. My second ChatGPT window is used only for creating the images. I copied the completed image prompt from the first window and pasted it into the second window. Separating these 2 jobs keeps my workflow organized. One ChatGPT conversation remains focused on writing consistent prompts, while the other remains focused on generating the actual images. ChatGPT then created the first handcrafted paper scene from the prompt. Before downloading the image, I checked the composition, the paper depth, and the placement of the hero object. I wanted the image to look like a physical paper sculpture photographed in a studio, not a flat digital illustration. Once I was satisfied with the image, I downloaded it so I could animate it. For the animation portion of this workflow, I am using OpenArt. Inside OpenArt, I opened the image to video generator and uploaded the starting image I created in ChatGPT. I selected Minimax H3 as the video model. Next, I returned to my prompt generator ChatGPT window and copied the matching 10-second video prompt. The video prompt is written specifically for that image. It controls the camera movement, the paper movement, the pacing, and the transformation taking place inside the scene. I pasted the video prompt into OpenArt, reviewed my settings, and started the generation. The starting image is extremely important because it establishes the character, objects, colors, composition, and overall paper style. The motion prompt should animate that existing design without completely changing it. When the generation finished, I previewed the result and checked for unwanted distortion. I looked closely at the hero object, the paper edges, and the movement between the stacked layers. If the scene remained consistent and the motion supported the story, I downloaded the clip and moved on to the next sentence. For the second scene, I returned to the prompt generator window and entered the next sentence from the blockbuster story. ChatGPT created a new image prompt and another matching 10-second motion prompt. Even though this is a new scene, the master instructions keep the overall art direction consistent. I copied the image prompt, moved to my image creation window, and generated the next starting frame. After reviewing the image, I downloaded it and returned to OpenArt. I uploaded the new image, copied its matching video prompt, and started another image-to-video generation. This is the basic workflow I use throughout the entire project. One sentence, one image prompt, one starting image, and one matching animation prompt. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this tutorial and want to see more practical AI creation workflows, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's finish creating our paper animation. Now, I continued through the blockbuster script using the same process. I entered the next sentence into my prompt generator ChatGPT window and allowed it to create the complete image and video prompts. I copied the image prompt into my separate image creation window and generated the starting artwork. Then I downloaded the image, uploaded it to OpenArt, and pasted the matching 10-second video prompt. I repeated these steps for every sentence in the story. Each sentence becomes its own visual beat, but all of the scenes still belong to the same handcrafted paper world. One of the most important parts of this style is keeping the visual message simple. Each scene has one dominant hero object. The supporting elements remain secondary, and the background is designed specifically for that moment in the story. I also leave a generous amount of negative space. The artwork can be highly detailed without filling every part of the frame. For the movement, I avoid asking the model to perform too many actions at once. A controlled camera push, one paper transformation, or a few carefully timed movements will usually look more polished than an overcrowded action sequence. I also continue checking that the objects look physically constructed from paper. The visible cardstock thickness, stacked contour layers, cut edges, glue joints, and deep shadow gaps are what separate this look from a flat illustration. After each OpenArt generation, I preview the clip before downloading it. If the scene contains serious distortion, identity changes, or objects that lose their original shape, I regenerate it before continuing. I repeat the process until every sentence in the story has a completed animated scene. Once all of my generations were complete, I downloaded the clips and placed them together with the rest of the project assets. Keeping the clips organized in story order makes the editing process much easier. At this point, I had the complete collection of paper animations, but I still needed the documentary narration that would connect them into one finished story. Next, I returned to ChatGPT and prepared the complete narration for the blockbuster story. This narration is different from the tutorial voiceover you are listening to now. The tutorial narration explains what I am doing. The blockbuster narration is the storytelling voice that will play inside the finished paper animation. I reviewed the script as one continuous piece and made sure each paragraph matched the correct visual scene. Because the animation is built from individual 10-second clips, the narration also needs to move naturally from one visual beat to the next. Once the script was ready, I opened 11 Labs to create the documentary voiceover. I pasted the blockbuster script into the text-to-speech editor and selected the voice I wanted to use. For this story, I wanted a confident documentary delivery that still sounded conversational and engaging. Before downloading the narration, I listened to the generated audio and checked the pronunciation, pacing, and pauses. If a sentence sounds rushed, you can adjust the punctuation or divide the narration into smaller sections. After I was satisfied with the final voice, I downloaded the audio file for the editing stage. Now I'm ready to turn the separate generations into one complete video. I opened CapCut and imported all of the generated animation clips along with the 11 Labs narration. I placed the animation clips on the timeline in the same order as the original blockbuster script. Next, I added the 11 Labs narration underneath the video track. I adjusted the placement of each scene so the visuals matched the correct section of the narration. Some clips may need to be shortened slightly, while others may need to remain on screen for their full duration. I trimmed unnecessary frames, removed unwanted gaps, and checked the transitions between each scene. I kept the transitions simple because the paper transformations are already providing the visual movement. This is the point where the individual 10-second animations finally become one continuous story. Once the scene timing matched the narration, I watched the full edit and checked the audio balance. The documentary voice should remain clear throughout the video. Any music or sound effects should support the narration without overpowering it. After checking the complete timeline, the finished blockbuster animation was stitched together. Here is the completed Vox-Style paper animation.
In 2000, a small company called Netflix flew to Dallas, Texas, with a simple offer. Let us run your online movie rental business for $50 million. The company they pitched to was Blockbuster, the undisputed king of video rentals, with more than 9,000 stores and billions in revenue. Blockbuster's executives laughed them out of the room. $50 million? They were worth billions. This DVD by mail thing was just a fad. Years passed. Netflix grew quietly, streaming into living rooms, while Blockbuster remained committed to physical stores and late fees. By the time Blockbuster realized the world had changed, it was too late. The company filed for bankruptcy in 2010. Today, Netflix is worth around $300 billion. In 2019, Blockbuster was reduced to one remaining store, and remarkably, that store is still open in Bend, Oregon. Had Blockbuster paid that $50 million, it could have owned a company eventually valued at more than $300 billion, a return equal to roughly 6,000 times the original purchase price. The lesson? Never underestimate the cost of saying no. Sometimes, the most expensive decision you'll ever make is the one that costs you nothing.
And that's the complete process for creating a Vox-Style paper animation. If this tutorial helped you, please like, subscribe, and tell me what story you'd like to bring to life next. I'll see you in the next video.